This one's coming from Kaduna State. We have reports that recently released protesters detained during the August 2024 End Bad Governance demonstration in Kaduna have denied allegations of torture by the Department of State Services. Speaking to journalists, the protesters, mainly disc jockeys providing music for the event, clarified that they were treated fairly during their detention and faced no mistreatment. Dahiru Hamza, also known as DJ Zaria, shared that he and others were released in October after the DSS Director General reviewed their case, determining they are innocent. Hamza expressed gratitude, noting that they were not tortured or stabbed, and their sound equipment restored or returned. Isa Abdullahi, or DJ SP, confirmed fair treatment also and added that he was also able to communicate with his wife while in custody. He commended the DSS leadership for their release, and Khalid, the protest coordinator who had hired the DJs, was also released after all charges were dropped. The released individuals thanked the DSS for their handling of the situation and called on the government to address youth unemployment and other pressing issues in Nigeria. I mean, before now, we got reports that protesters said that they were mistreated when they were in detention, and now same protesters, maybe not the same individuals, but we still put them under the umbrella of protesters, are saying that they were treated fairly. I'm trying to marry both stories because they're not looking like they're the same, even though from protesters. Does it mean that they had certain protesters who were treated rightly,
and then some were
you understand? So I would like to get your thoughts on this one, Joshua.
All right. And you know, it has been a normal talk of the day in Nigeria. What we do, we actually sometimes we speak out of emotion. And whenever we come across stories or, you know, headlines, some persons tend to just say out of anxiety or their emotions without making proper, you know, investigation of what has actually happened. Last week, these protesters were released. And they came out online and said they were maltreated. It was very open everywhere that they were maltreated. It's unfortunate that we have another set coming up now to say they were not maltreated. So which one are we agreeing to? Which one should we accept?
Okay,
but
so there were like two different sets that were released, and then another set that now saying that they were not mistreated.
This is what I expect we do as because the story is contradicting each other. You know, the same protesters that were, you know, arrested by the same DSS are not divided into two. So which one are we believing? But if really they said they were not maltreated, then I'll commend DSS for that. Because that shows high level of professionalism. Before you interrogate a victim, it should be convicted. You should do your investigation, find out that what you are interrogating that individual for is actually true. But in this case, these protesters, we can't justify if really, you know, the allegation that was alleged on them were true or not. So if they were not maltreated by the DSS, then I'll commend the DSS for that. But the issue I'm having is, you know, contrary opinions, where some persons are saying we were maltreated and others are saying we're not maltreated. So which are we believing? Should I now believe what I'm thinking?
No, what are you thinking? I'd like to know what you're thinking.
These things are acted.
They were acted.
Should I believe what I'm thinking, that it was acted? Yeah, do we have people that are really sponsoring this whole drama?
I'm talking about acting. There was this, when we saw the pictures of the minors in court, and then there was this part where some of them passed out complaining about malnutrition and lack of food, you know. And then we saw another part of this alleged released protesters.
They've been released.
Yes, with looking healthy, you know, looking older in quotes.
You know, with beards.
Yeah,
unlike the children that we saw.
That were. Does this mean that they actually grew older
in a few days?
In a few days.
In this country, we act funny sometimes. That's what I'm saying. It's looking as though this whole process was acted. Because when I saw the minors in court, I was asking myself, How come? Because we all followed up this news when the protest was on. And we can as well attest to the fact that we saw who the police arrested. And from what I saw online then, I didn't really see this set of kids, because I don't see any reasonable police officer that will come and, arrest children.
Okay.
Now, people came up and present children, minors, but they were not even up to 12 years. Presented them in court that they were, arrested and detained for months. We appealed to the federal government for them to be released because of their age. And now they were released. They came up and said they were maltreated, they were deprived of food, and they were looking malnourished. We saw it that day. And after they were released, we saw another set of people looking very healthy and matured, said they were the one arrested.
So you actually think in the drama?
Now we are seeing, or we're hearing another story saying that we're not maltreated in the custody. Right? So which are we believing?
So you're thinking?
I'm thinking, the other thing is looking as though it was acted.
Where did the acting begin? That's what I'm trying to see now. You're thinking that the acting began...
Nigerians, we are very funny. We're very funny.
Okay.
When we want to get government attention, we can go extra mile. That's what I think Nigerians can do. We can do it very well. I think there are people that are organizing this whole process. They showcase these children to the world to see how, it looks as though the police or the DSS that made the arrest were unprofessional. Now, in order to argue that some other set of people have projected another set of people claim to be protesters, they are not children.
So the question now is, where are the main children that were arrested the first time? Because this story, this still comes down to the question, where are they?
This is where I said, we need to do a series of investigation, before coming to a conclusion in this country. Because the whole story is contradicting itself. You have two sets of people in the same country, the same state, the same courts. Two sets of people are coming to say they were arrested separately. So, which are we believing among these two set of protesters? Should we believe those that said they were maltreated? They said openly. Or we should believe those that are coming to say that they were not maltreated? Which are we believing? So the only way we can find out the truth here now is to do our investigation.
Okay, so we should do our investigation.
Let's find out.
Who should do the investigation now? But then all of this drama, that's why I asked you earlier where you think the whole acting started. We're looking at, like she mentioned, the protesters that we saw in court, the children we saw in court, and the people who were released, who were smiling with beds and taking phones, taking pictures. And then the children who were there was another video of the children being fed. They sat on the floor.
Yes.
And someone was taking videos of them. And you could see them rushing.
The food, like they have been starved for
so we're looking at that aspect of this whole scenario. That some Nigerians are saying this could be, like he said, acting. But he's even taking it down to the whole children that were even arraigned in court in the first place, saying that he feels there's some sort of acting in all of that. So are you trying to say that even the children that were arraigned in court are probably not the protesters that were on the field?
Exactly. The reason why I'm saying this is we have children that were arraigned in court to be protesters. They were minors. And now, because of their condition, we said these children should be released. Now, the children were released as published. Now, another set of adults are coming up to say that they were the one arrested and they've been released. No longer the children. Are you seeing where the contradiction is coming in now? No longer the children. And that they were not in any way maltreated by the DSS. Now, where I really want to call in the DSS here, because the first claim saying that the DSS maltreated them was a very, very big charge on them, because they were not supposed to maltreat children. So if some set of Nigeria actually, presented children before the world saying that the DSS act unprofessional by maltreating these children, and now some other children are coming, some other adults are saying they were not maltreated, then the DSS should go in for investigation. Let's find out who is really doing this, because it's unfortunate.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that in a country we will have political actors that will, go extra mile because of their own selfish desires. It's unfortunate.